Good evening, folks. This is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Tuesday, November 28th, 11:37 p.m. Mountain Time, 2017. Big story, Mount Agung. We'll get into the details, but take a look at this live, multi-screen live stream. This is coming out of Asia. They have the solar flare chart on here. I wonder if other countries know something that we don't. It's very telling. Agung is continuously erupting. It has been for some time. I'll leave you links to it. Bali volcano ash drifts 4.7 miles high. Airport shut third day. An erupting volcano with a deadly history on the Indonesian Bali island has spread drifting ash 7,600 meters. That's 4.7 miles high into the atmosphere and closed the airport for the third day. What will the turistas ever do? Look how big this Asian woman is. Oh my goodness. Tourists wait at the Bali airport. It's closed. I don't know why you would want to fly. Flying through volcanic ash is a death wish. Bali's Mount Agung to erupt within hours. Experts warn of a big explosion. Guys, let's talk about the big explosion. Two big explosions, VEI-5 in 1963 and 64. A continuous eruption from February through January. That's a year long. VEI-5, boom! We'll talk about that. 1843. Back when there was high cosmic ray flux. Boom! VEI-5. Now, why are they warning that this baby's going to blow? I have the seismograph. I've been watching it all day. I made the video late. If you were here earlier, let me tell you how to read a seismogram. Not a seismograph. A seismogram. They move from top to bottom. So this is the live feed on the bottom. And what you can see right here is that as I'm making the video, there's massive tremors happening continuously. And earlier today, about 15 hours ago, 24 hours ago, this is a day, there was a massive 30-minute long earthquake. It was all red. That's up here. It's already gone off the screen. But a red like this all the way across. A 30-minute continuous tremor at the volcano. Now, that could mean a few things. It could mean that the magma that has been ejected over the last 48 hours created a massive void under the caldera, and there was a huge collapse. It could also mean that there's more magma shifting and that the mountain itself is cracking. Because we don't have the data on the surface data and to see if it's swelling or not, we can't determine if that's happening. If we had that data, like we did with Mount St. Helens, we would know it was going to blow. Now, the locals are saying this is going to blow, and look at the seismic activity up right now. As I'm making it, it could be blowing. We'll see it. And here's the seismogram. And this seismogram activity, look, it's continuing here. Now, this magma, the Magma Indonesia site has been crashing all day. I'm amazed I can even show this to you. I'm going to try to update this. Seismogram to see, yep, the seismic activity is continuing. We now have a 20-minute long seismic event continuing at the volcano while I'm making the video. It's hard to see what's going on here. Clearly, if this is going to erupt above the 4.7 mile range, which it's not, we will see it shoot up here into the stratosphere. So, VEI-5 is its historical eruption level. It has not gotten there yet. The volcanic explosivity index coming from Wikipedia here, VEI-5 places it between Mount St. Helens and Pinatubo. So if this baby blows in the middle, those tourists are in grave danger, and everyone else on that island. Now we're about to talk about the danger that they're in. This is coming out of the Watchers. 11 killed, thousands of homes affected as cosmic ray caused floods and landslides hit Java, Indonesia. This is Java, Indonesia. This is Bali. So any of these people that can't fly off right now are trying to get a boat across here to Java. First of all, this is all jungle for 100 miles before you get to a city. Second of all, 11 people have been killed, thousands of homes affected as floods and landslides hit Java. So if you're trying to get off this island by boat to get over here to Java, there's landslides to deal with and epic flooding. Oh my goodness. Can you say cocktail for disaster? At least 11 people have been killed after heavy rain produced by tropical cyclone Sempaka triggered several floods and landslides in East Java, Indonesia on November 28, 2017. As people try to flee Bali via boat to Java, this is what their warm welcome is. Sempaka is the first named storm in the Australian region cyclone season. In addition to heavy rain, strong winds caused by the cyclone brought volcanic ash from erupting Mount Agung to Bali's Gusti Ngurah International Airport, canceling flights for the third day in a row. Boom. That's bad news. There are no large seismic upticks. So these tremors that are coming out from magma are low level, probably magnitude 2 to 3. But continuous movement like this is magma refilling the chamber or the volcano currently collapsing. Now, if it collapses, it could release all the pressure at once. And that is when you get boom! And we will get the VEI 5 that has historically happened from this volcano. And I hope that those people get off of the island, because there's no telling when it could blow. If it blows, it could be any time in the next few days. And then only if the volcano simmers down will there be a safety warning lowering. But they're going to keep it up high for a while as this baby off-gasses. And with the seismic uptick that we're seeing, with this 30-minute long seismic event 24 hours earlier, and then I thought it was getting quiet watching the seismogram all day. This happened just before I made the video. I was going to talk about these red events, and now we have a continuous seismic event that is not stopping. And I'm going to refresh that, and we'll continue the update. New Zealand's in big trouble, according to scientists. New Zealand has made headlines this time after a 7.8 magnitude rocked a year ago both the North and South Islands, barely killing anyone. But geoscientists are now warning that the pieces are in place for the next catastrophe. They just had a bunch of geologists meet in New Zealand to talk about this earthquake. So they must have shared data, and they're warning that the big one has not happened yet, guys. A potential 9.0 tremor is still on the way. Although the likelihood of a powerful tremor occurring on the San Andreas Fault in the next 30 years is essentially a dead certainty, it's actually the Pacific Northwest you should watch out for. Boom, a lot of info coming out of here. But watch out, New Zealand, because grand solar minimums all have shown 8.5 or greater earthquakes happening regularly with high cosmic ray flux. And guys, if we come over to the NAIN monitor, it has been going up over 3% since the 16th. It's rising again. That's in the South Pole. I mean, in the North Pole. And here's the Fort Smith South Pole data. It is going way up. I wouldn't doubt that the South American volcanoes start erupting with greater intensity because of this. That's a heads up. After back-to-back record highs, cold front brings rain-snow mix, 40-degree drop in temperatures. This is across the U.S. You're going to go from record highs to record lows with a record low December with record snows. And this is bad news for crops. Weather disasters hammered farm country in 2017. I'll leave you links to this. It goes on and on. February brought floods. Severe weather woes started early as dozens of tornadoes hit January, including Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Look at all the numbers here for corn and soybeans, all in the red. At the same time, Winter Storm Ursa dropped heavy snow in the plains. That didn't help the grain crop. I'll leave you links to that. It goes on, and it covers all the losses. Now, this is coming out of Victoria. Bumper grain harvest hopes hit by frost, rain, and hail. Grand solar minimum much. We're entering it, and we're watching it. So these crop losses are only going to continue. But what I want you to note, if you're from Victoria, I just picked this up across the wire tonight. Victorian grown parsnips test positive for propazine and cimetrin. Now, this article says they're safe, but that's a lie. There is nothing safe about propazine and cimetrin, and I'll leave you the links. This comes directly from the source, the people that make it. Propazine. And this is from their studies on rats. Has reproductive effects, abortion, ferrotoxicity, death, tumorogenic data. This is oral if you eat it. It's on your food. Let's talk about the more toxic chemical, cimetrin. It's on your food. It has a GHS classification of kills everything. Don't touch it. Kills all wildlife. Harmful if swallowed, acute oral toxicity. Harmful if inhaled, acute inhalation toxicity. Very toxic to aquatic life. Very toxic to aquatic life with long-lasting effects. And they're spraying it on your food. If you're not growing your own food and you're buying it from the supermarket, I don't know where you've been. You better start growing your own food. Cancer is at levels, historic levels in the U.S. and probably in Victoria because of the food that people think is safe. Heads up. And this is the nonsense that will be coming out shortly. Don't blow it. This is from Grist. An erupting Indonesian volcano may alter global climate. That's a way out for these scumbags. This is a press release from NASA today. Measuring solar energy input to Earth. And the article continues to go on how important understanding total solar irradiance is to understanding the climate. Well, would you imagine that? Thanks, NASA. I wonder where you got that information from. Boom! They're frauds. I mean, read this article. It's crazy. For nearly 40 years, NASA has been measuring how much sunshine powers our home planet. Well, if you don't know, they're launching a probe up to the sun because they're well aware of what's happening about the descent into the grand solar minimum and the fact that the sun is shutting down. Look at these low dips. We're dropping down. Boom. They know it. I'll leave you links to the live stream at Agung. You can look at the Earth and Sun connection as a simple energy balance. These are the words of NASA. If you have more energy absorbed by the sun than leaving it, its temperatures increase and vice versa, said Peter Pilewski. TSSIS-1. That is the probe that they'll be leading. But it's not so simple. The sun's output energy is not constant. Over the course of about 11 years, our sun cycles from relatively quiet state to a peak in intensity, like explosions of light and solar material. called a solar maximum. In subsequent years, the sun returns to a quiet state and the cycle starts over. The sun has fewer sunspots, dark areas that are often source of increased solar activity, and stops producing so many explosions, going through a period called solar minimum. And over the course of one solar cycle, 11 years, the sun's emitted energy varies on average of 0.1%. That might not sound like a lot, but that's a lot. This article goes on to say that knowing the sun's behavior and knowing how Earth's atmosphere responds to the sun is even more important now because of all the different factors that affect climate change. We need to understand how all of these interact on the Earth system. Well, we know what the sun's doing. We know what the cosmos is doing. Increased cosmic ray flux from outside of our solar system is causing volcanoes to erupt. The mainstream is poisoning you and they don't give up. They'll say it's safe all day. These are the facts. Subscribe to the channel and be safe.